Perfect. All right, so welcome to our first group of 2022. We are doing the program called Job One. And so when Heather and I were creating this group, we were like, okay, what should be the title of it? So do your job. Are you ready to do your job? And the trainer will talk throughout the workouts about your job being you, to take care of yourself. We have, and I think there's only women on this call. Yeah. As women, we have a lot of different things that we take care of, a lot of different responsibilities, kids, husbands, friends, family, all the things. But sometimes our number one job, taking care of ourselves, goes on the back burner. And something that Heather and I really wanted to focus on for this month, and really like a theme for this year, is taking care of ourselves and staying consistent and really holding one another accountable. And so this group, we are running it a little bit differently than we've done groups in the past. We're doing like daily check-ins in there. And so you'll hear kind of a common theme throughout this whole presentation is the number one thing that will help you stay consistent on this journey is showing up and leaning into that group. Showing up and leaning into that group. The people that I see staying the most consistent, that are with me like months and years into their journey, are the ones that have never left their group. They're faithful to the group and showing up in there and really staying consistent, because when you put that responsibility on yourself, you also are and show up in there, you're also seeing the consistency of everybody else in there. So I know for me, even on the days that I'm like, I really don't want to, I go into that group and I see all the women that have already, because y'all are like 6 hours ahead of me, I see all the women that's already checked off their workout for the day. And I'm like, well, I have to. I'm like, she's got 3 kids. She was working out of the home full time and she already got her workout in. I literally have no excuse. And so staying consistent, checking in there will really help you too. And thank you for everybody that posted in here where you are calling in from. I love, it's so cool that we all are literally from all over. I actually have someone in the UK. She messaged me. She's like, can you send me the recording for the call? Because that is not a good time for me. I'm like, yeah. So it's cool that we can connect with people from all over.
Heather talked about this a little bit, but just to kind of elaborate on what to expect from this group is we're going to focus on creating a sustainable routine for ourselves. Everyone's routine is going to look different. So it's not saying that you need to model what I'm trying to do or what Heather is trying to do or any of these other people in this group, right? What works for you may not work for me. And it needs to be around what's going to be best for your schedule, whatever that may be. We all know the workouts are going to be 20 minutes. You can add on. You can add on if you want. There's going to be overtime workouts. If you've kind of gone in and looked at that, we can share at the end, but there's some things called overtime workouts. You can go for a walk, add on anything that you want if you don't think that, so I'm admitting some more people, but there's nothing you can add on if you don't think 20 minutes is enough, but give those 20 minutes your all, because I underestimated them for myself. You all know, you've been in there, the app for tracking. We'll go over how to use that and how to make that work for you as well. We've got some personal development recommendations. I'll go into this more, but you think that it is this like self-help, woo-woo, all this weird stuff I did when I started. That's the biggest transformation for me. So lean into personal development. It's gonna feel weird. A lot of this is gonna be uncomfortable, but that's the point, right? So you have to get uncomfortable for all of this to work. We're going to be sharing weekly meal plans. There's already one up in the group for this week if you want some ideas, or you can follow the entire thing if you want. But I know for me, nutrition was hard to get started with. So we'll have weekly plans updated in there. The accountability group, Heather said this, lean into the community aspect of this. What you put into it and what you put into this group is going to be what you can get back in return, because it truly is going to make all the difference of what you lean in and how much you lean into this group. So.
Perfect. Okay. So some things to focus on, and if you are feeling at any point in this call overwhelmed, I want to encourage you that that's a very normal feeling when you start a journey like this, especially when you have us like throw in all of these things at you. If you're not already in any sort of routine, it can feel like, oh my gosh, I need to change so much in order to be successful. And no, we're giving you some things to focus on. You pick and choose what's going to work for you. So maybe you being successful this first week is you show up for your workouts. That's it. Like, I don't even want to say that's it. Like, that's a really big deal, but make a commitment this week. Like, okay, I'm going to show up for all 5 workouts this week. And then next week, maybe it's, okay, I'm going to complete week 2 of the workouts and I'm really going to figure out my meal plan better. I will be honest with you and tell you that for the first like 3-4 months of my journey, I really just stuck with my workouts and kind of was all over the place with my meal plan. It took me a long time to get into the habit of working out because I hated it so much and was not a fan. It took me a while to get into that routine before incorporating other things. Now that I'm 3 years into this, yeah, these things, no big deal for me to just add those to my to-do list. But at the beginning, it was, can I just get my workout in for the day? Because that's really all I can physically, emotionally handle. So figure out where you're at, push yourself, obviously, but figure out what's going to work for you in your life, right? So some things that we're going to suggest that you can focus on: not snoozing. Set your alarm, but don't set yourself up for failure first thing in the morning. If you go to bed late and you know that you're not going to wake up at 5 a.m., don't set the alarm for 5 a.m. if you know you're going to snooze until 5:30. Don't already set yourself up to disappoint yourself in the morning. And whether you think it's a disappointment or not, subconsciously you're telling yourself it's okay to not follow through on the commitment that you made the night before. And I was listening to Mel Robbins, who just came out with the High Five book. She did the 5-second rule and then she came out with the High Five habits. She said that scientifically, when you snooze, because you're not getting a full sleep cycle in, so like I think a sleep cycle on average is like an hour and a half. When you snooze and you go back to sleep for a little bit and then you get woken up by your alarm again, say it's only for like 20 minutes, you're actually more tired throughout the day. And it takes something like 4 or 5 hours for your body to readjust. And so it's actually doing you more harm when you think you're getting those extra like 15, 20 minutes. So you're going to be tired. Whether I wake up at 5 a.m. or I wake up at 6:30 a.m., I'm still tired. And so, okay, that's enough on not snoozing. Gratitude, something that's really quick and easy. Just take a piece of paper or a journal, just write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. Try to make them different every day. Not, I'm grateful for my house. Like, really think about it. Like, what is something that you maybe take for granted that you can be grateful for every day? And this has really helped me, especially when things in my life aren't going so good, or I'm feeling sad or lonely. Like, how is life showing up for me? Like, what am I missing? Because it's much easier for us to focus on the bad, right? And so force yourself to get in that mindset of always starting your day with, how am I grateful for today? Obviously, 20-minute workout is 20 minutes, you guys. It's 20 minutes. Like, we scroll social media for 20 minutes and it goes by like that. So we've done other programs before where the workouts are like closer to an hour, and I kind of get it. We get crazy busy. It's 20 minutes. So nobody should have the excuse of, I don't have time. Like, that's embarrassing. We have 20 minutes to get it done. Personal development, Heather talked on this. We have a slide that has some recommendations too, but we're not talking hours here. We're talking like 10 pages or 10 minutes. And if you can't, like, I don't love to read, especially at the beginning, I'm not incorporating reading. And so I did a podcast. Just stick a podcast on while you're showering, putting your makeup on, driving, like, get in the habit of filling your brain with some goodness when you would normally put on the radio. Like, instead of music, listen to some, and we'll have some recs for that too. And then water, I think the next slide may say this too, but you basically want to drink half your body weight in water. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. And that's really minimum. Like, if you're working out and exerting energy, you should be drinking more, but try to get a jug of some sort that that's going to work for you, whether you fill it up once or you fill it up twice a day, okay, I got to drink 2 of these, but having a jug for me at least really helps, because I'm like, hey, I just need to drink that 1 jug for the day, fill it up in the morning and stay with it all day.
One thing I want to add to this is Heather touched on, like, this can be a lot. This can be very overwhelming, especially if you're starting out. And now all of a sudden we're telling you to create this routine with all of these things. This shouldn't take more than an hour, especially with a 20-minute workout. The snooze doesn't even do anything, right? Then the gratitude should be maybe 5 minutes, 20-minute workout, personal development. If you do want to read 10 pages is fine, 10 minutes of listening to something. This could really be maybe 45 minutes max. It doesn't need to be something that you're spending hours on creating a routine. This is all meant to create more time in your day, not take away more time. I think Heather just went through this with water. I'll just go to the next one. So some of these personal development recommendations, and we can add a list into the group. I don't know if we've done that yet, with more that are going to be more on like specific topics, but if you have anything that you want or are looking for, ask us. We probably have something. But these are some of our favorites that we listened to when we first started. We've kind of gone back to them, or at least I have, over the years. And for books, it is You Are a Badass, Girl Wash Your Face, Think Like a Monk, 5-Second Rule, which Heather just talked about, and Atomic Habits. But again, if you're not a reader, that doesn't mean that you can just kind of skip over this. This has been the biggest part for me, and I've said that already, and I wanted to elaborate on it because I was very reluctant to do this. And my coach continued to tell me that I should be doing personal development, and I continued to not do it because I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a self-help book, anything like that. And filling those pockets of time when I was, before everything, I used to actually leave my house and drive places, and I would listen to podcasts all day long. And that's made such a difference in my mindset that now it's automatic. I was just doing my whole like Sunday self-care skincare routine before I got on this, and I just had a podcast playing as I was doing that. So you don't need to go out and buy a book. You don't need to do anything. You can get podcasts on Spotify if you have it. You can get them directly on your phone. I know Apple has a podcast app. I don't know anything about Android, so I can't really help you there, but some of the recommendations we have for that are Straight Up with Trent Shelton, Ed Milet Show, sorry, Empower Her with Keisha Fitzgerald, Real AF, which I always do a little disclaimer because there's a lot of language in his. If that's not your thing, skip past him, and On Purpose with Jay Shetty. And each of these are something completely different. So again, depending on what you need in your life is going to depend on what personal development you should be doing. Everything is going to speak to somebody different. So if you listen to a podcast and it doesn't resonate with you at all, doesn't automatically mean personal development doesn't need to be done or it doesn't apply to you. Everyone is in a different season, and what you need is going to be completely different.
One thing I want to add on that is I've had in the past people tell me like what personal development they're going to start, and sometimes it's like, hey, I'm reading this devotional or this Christian-based book or podcast, and while y'all know I'm on my own journey, I love that. I think that's amazing. We are specifically talking about personal development. I think there's a difference between growing in your faith and growing personally, business-wise, life-wise, relationship-wise. And so while I think that is awesome, and I think definitely spend the time to do that, I would push you to choose something else. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, nutrition. I already told you guys this was something that I know Heather too, like we definitely struggled in our own ways with nutrition. And I think it really is like a very personal journey to people. I think you have to do what works for you. This all or nothing mindset of I got to cut out all of this and I got to starve myself and these foods are bad and these foods are not bad. Like all of the things that we learned growing up, I think really did some damage to us. And so it's taken some time to really like heal that. And I'll tell you, even 3 years into this, I'm still not there. Like I still have my own struggles with it. But at the end of the day, I do my best. I do my best with it. And there are some times in my life where I'm following it to a T, and there's sometimes that I don't. And I think that's almost worked the best for me, is just having this balance of, okay, I'm going to follow it because I have these goals and I'm going to stick with my containers. And then I go on vacation and I do what I want. Like, because I've set up a good foundation, I'm much better than I was in the past when I do have those weekends or vacations or holidays, but knowing that it's okay and that there's not this falling off, right? It's not, well, I ate like crap last week, so I quit. And that's what I used to do. It was like, well, I quit. So, or the other mindset is, okay, well, I just ate like crap for the last week, so now I need to only drink water and vegetables. And that's not good for us either. Like, that mindset, we have to change that. And so small things. So maybe this first week, you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on my workouts and I'm just going to try to be better with nutrition. And we know what that means, right? I'm just going to try to like make healthier choices. And maybe after you have a few weeks under your belt, then it's okay, you know what? I'm going to open up my app and look at this whole container system and really figure out what meal plan I fall into. Or maybe you're at a great place right now where you're like, okay, I'm ready to dive all in. I'm good with my workouts. I really need to focus on nutrition. So what does that look like? You get in there, you figure out your meal plan. It tells you exactly how to calculate it. And the nutrition is really all around portion control. You guys have those containers, or if you don't have the containers, oh, perfect, thanks. If you don't have those colored containers, you can buy some. I think they're like $8 on the site, or I can just send you the cheat sheet for measuring cups. Like, the green is a cup. The protein is 3/4 of a cup, right? So it just helps you figure out how, like for me, I had no baseline whatsoever about nutrition. Like, I had no idea. When I looked at what I thought was eating healthy for the day was so wrong. Like, I was not getting enough protein, wasn't getting enough veggies. My diet was pretty much like carbs and healthy fats with some greens thrown in there. So it helped me figure out, okay, these are my goals. If I want to lose weight or maintain or gain, this is how much I should be putting in my body. But it's a fluid thing, right? Obviously, the system was created for everyone, but we all have different bodies, metabolisms, things like that. So you may be like, okay, I fit into plan A, so I'm going to follow plan A. And then maybe you're like, wow, I'm starving. Like, I'm so hungry. That's not right. You shouldn't be hungry. And so we got to figure out, okay, maybe the things that you're eating, so maybe like the carb that you're eating is tortilla chips. Can we sub that out for like sweet potato or brown rice? Because that may keep you fuller longer. So making a swap like that. Or maybe you're supposed to bump up a plan, right? Like, maybe you're doing your 20-minute workout and you're taking care of your kid and you're walking at night with the pup. Like, maybe you're doing more and exerting more energy, so you need more fuel. So it's going to be a fluid thing that's always changing, right? Based on you and your goals and how you're feeling. So don't just think, okay, I got to follow this to a T or I'm going to fail. Like, no, it's meant to be like, all of our bodies are different. So, you know, take it as you want to take it. Take the journey as you want to take it. And if you are like, okay, I'm ready to go all in, figure out your plan. But as you have questions with it, reach out to your coach and say, hey, you know, I'm feeling stuffed. Like, I'm in this plan, but I'm feeling like it's too much food. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's see what you're eating and figure out, like, can we space out these meals differently, or, right? So definitely reach out to us and lean on us, lean on the group, because we don't want you to feel like totally overwhelmed. And that's how I felt at the beginning. I felt very overwhelmed and just like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't know if there's questions on that, but we can answer those at the end too.
And with all of that is going to come the tracking portion of it, right? And so I'm not expecting you to be like, okay, I've got 4 green containers, and by the time dinner comes around, you have no clue how many is left, right? So we're going to have a daily prompt. It's going to be this little graphic right here. And it's going to be where you're going to screenshot your log. This is all in the app. We'll show you exactly how to use that later, but it calculates it for you. If you have something for breakfast, it then deducts the number of containers you have left for the rest of the day. So we're going to share those each day. if you're focusing on your nutrition. If you're not focusing on it, it's okay to skip this prompt, right? So don't feel pressured to do that because we've got something up there asking you to share in there. This is for the people who are wanting to also focus on their nutrition and go all in with that and have that accountability. If you're going to be sharing where you're at with your containers for the day, you're much more likely to stick on track with it and all of that, right? If you've been in the app, you've already seen kind of these other things, or maybe not, but if you have your syncing on, which it automatically does that, your workouts, as soon as you finish a 75% of a Beachbody workout, whether it's the body or the bod platform, it will have a prompt when you go into it to share that to the group with your sweaty selfie. You can log your shakes in there for Shakeology. We encourage you to share all of this to the group, right? I know I've been sharing my shakes in there. If you've got questions, if you want to just share your recipe for the day, share all of that to the group. The meal plan, which is what this kind of looks like, the nutritionals, or if you do the recover, the hydrate, the energize, all of that can be tracked here as well as your water. So you customize this to have your goal. If maybe your goal is not 100 ounces, that's fine, but you put whatever your goal is and it will show you how close you're getting to that. And then of course you can track your results on there. All of this can be as public or private to your coach as you want. If you don't want us to see your results because it puts in pictures and puts in your measurements, we don't have to see that. This is a place that you can put all that information, which I also want to quickly, I don't think we talked about this, but I want to encourage you to take before pictures and measurements. It's okay if I'm not going to take mine tonight because it is pretty dark outside. I'll take mine tomorrow and I'll probably have to do my workout first. It is okay if you do day one and then take your pictures. It's really not going to hurt anything, but the scale may or may not change in these 4 weeks. And that I don't want to deter you. If you take pictures and measurements, it's going to be a much better way to track your progress than the scale ever will be, right? I am going on year 3 of being a coach and my weight has pretty much stayed the same. And my pictures look completely different. There's definitely physical changes, but the scale relatively says the same. So don't let the scale be the only way you're tracking your results.
Preach it, Heather. And as far as, those before pictures, I downloaded a lock app and hid the pictures on my phone with a password protected. Who's going to look at my phone? Because I didn't want anyone, even my husband, to see those pictures. That's how strongly I felt and how bad I felt. And y'all know that I plaster them all over the internet now. So you literally never know what's going to happen in your life, like to have those. Like, I'm so grateful that I have them, but also just personally for myself, like Heather said, that number has pretty much stayed the same over the last 3 years for me. And if I had solely gone off of that, I would look at the last 3 years as complete failure. But when I look at myself, obviously I know how I feel, but it's nice to be able to look. When I look, I'm like, I look like a completely different person from the inside out. So definitely take those pictures. You don't have to show them to anybody ever, but definitely take them. What a cute picture you found of us. Look at us. Okay, where to access everything. So most everybody should be in the group already. I feel like we admitted everyone, y'all should already be in there. But she's gonna show you, I think. Yeah, she's gonna click into what the app looks like, but if you're not in there, maybe we can I can drop the link again, just to make sure that you've requested. But I would encourage you to download the app to your phone. And this is literally what I do. I play my workout. I play it from a mini laptop because I just like to bring it in the garage with me. You literally could play it from your phone if you wanted to. You have TV, like Roku. I think you can play it on like Roku, Fire Stick, all that stuff. But as soon as the workout is done, I exit the screen and I pull up my app on my phone and it literally prompts me. It says, hey, you just finished the Job 1 workout. Do you want to track it? I go, yep, track. snap my picture, post it, good. I've checked off my check-in for the day. So wherever you play it, as soon as you X out, it'll be right on your phone. So you can just snap a picture, check in there. So it's a very smooth process if you have the app on your phone. I feel like it's kind of weird to like somehow try to track it on your computer. But this is what it looks like. And oh, wow, thanks for dropping the link, Heather. And you see, like, you can literally track your weight, you can track your goals, your every time you track your Shakeout, it'll show up in here. It'll show you your average workout, like how many workouts you're doing a week. And it'll show you two these little dots, like show your workout and your Shakeout. You can add your progress pictures right in there. Again, it can be as public or private as you want. These are only shared. You can select to only share them to your coach. But everything you post, you physically post in the group, obviously is the whole group is going to see it. It kind of works like Facebook, right? So like you post it, everybody in the group sees it. And then things that are pinned, like we pinned this initial post because we want to make sure you guys like see stuff. So we're going to pin a post every day. Like the check-in will be posted every day. But as far as you checking in with your workouts, we don't want you posting on, there's not going to be a pin post for that. You're just going to check in. So you finish your workout, you click exit, you open your app. It says, do you want to share? You share. The additional things like the pin post, that's where you're going to comment on that. You'll understand when you see it. So you guys did it perfectly for this. We pinned a post. We said, welcome. Y'all introduce yourself in the comments, right? And then I do want to mention this too, because I've had a bunch of people ask about like more accountability. Can I work out with people? This workout link has been going strong for a long time, but Monday through Saturday, 5 a.m. Eastern to 8 a.m. Eastern, you can hop on at any time. I'm not going to say there's going to be a person on there at any time. I would say your best bet is like 5, 6 a.m. Eastern. There's going to be people, maybe even into
It's
7.
probably 6 and 7 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday is the strongest. I'm on between that time every single day too.
Love it. But say like, I'm just going to call people out, but like say, like I see Rachel's face on here. Say Rachel is like, hey, I don't know, say you post in the group. Does anybody want to work out at 7:30 a.m.? And then Charlene is like, oh my gosh, 7:30 actually works really well for me. I would love an accountability partner. Y'all could just both jump on that Zoom link at 7:30 and you would both see each other, right? So it's kind of nice I am kind of the oddball out until like June, then I'll be closer to y'all. But it's nice to be like held accountable that way. So to like find someone and be like, hey, hold me accountable. So maybe you don't do that during the week. Like maybe you're just so sporadic during the week, but maybe on like Saturday when you're having a hard time getting a weekend workout in. Okay. I think, oh yeah. And then the file section. Yeah. So in here, we are going to upload. So yeah, perfect. You have the tracker, the calendar, the new client checklist, which all of y'all should get. You have it in your email, but we're going to upload the meal plan each week. Again, it's just an idea for you to get some ideas. I feel like sometimes we stick with the same. I stick with the same stuff every week. It's nice to mix it up, have some variety. So that will be posted every week. How about PST? Do we have a group for those times with a working out of the house schedule? Nikki, I would probably just post in the group. I would say like, hey, is anybody else Pacific time? Does anyone want to get on at whatever time would work for you? And see. And we can always create an additional Zoom link too. So if we're finding that, I'm pretty sure that link always stays open though, right, Heather?
It is. So I was just going to add that. It says that it's from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern, but it doesn't close. It is open 24/7. So if you just post in the group and are looking for somebody to jump on with you, you can always get onto that group. Yeah, Ashley. I know Ashley's on with me a lot in the mornings too. So there's always going to be people on with you. I didn't go through these questions. Was there anything that I missed?
Kara, I just approved you, but I approved you to my sweat studio and not the do your job one. So make sure, I'll put it again, make sure you request in that group, in the do your job group. So it may be a little confusing, but there's basically 2 bod groups going on. You should be in 2. The sweat studio is just our forever group. I'm gonna forever have it. So it's just kind of there for when people aren't doing a specific program. So I have people in there doing all kinds of programs at all the time. And honestly, when you check in, you can select to post and check in into both groups. This do your job group, like I said, is different in a sense that Heather and I wanted to run a group doing the same program at the same exact time, having everyone start the same day. I feel like there's a lot of power and momentum in that. And so we wanted to see how it would go to do it that way this year. That's why we have that separate group. So it's only for those doing this program. Any other questions?
So there was a question about the containers. And I know Heather mentioned this, but you can get them right on the site. They're about $8, I believe, $8 to $10. So either one of us can send you a link if you can't find them.
I think Amazon honestly has them too. If like sometimes Beachbody shipping is like, so I think you can, like, if you have a product coming up, you could add the containers to your next and it would be free shipping. So you could, like, if you're getting Shaco, you could add it to your next Shaco order, but you could just do them from Amazon too.
If there's no other questions, I don't want to keep you. But just get excited. I'm so excited for day one. There's just something about day one. Gets me real pumped.
I'm nervous. I feel like we haven't started a new program since 645.
Yeah. There was just a question about sharing recipes. And yes, feel free to share recipes in the group. We'll have those weekly meal plans, but if you have something you're loving, we'll also share recipes throughout the month, but please share whatever in the group. That's what it's meant for.
Oh yeah, you guys come across a good podcast or a good book, or had girls share, like there was like a Old Navy sale on Old Navy sale on workout clothes, and she was like sharing the deals. I'm like, this is great. So, and it's just women in there, so definitely feel comfortable like sharing all the things because it's just us. Okay. Pump up the jam, pump it up.
Heather does this all the time. She's on a much different time zone than we are. I'm like winding down for bed over here.
I just have my filthy chai, so I'm good to go. Oh, Lord.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. I'm so excited.
We never know how to end these. We're just like, bye.
We're real awkward, but I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to end it.